you been working on your job? How many more years do you plan on working on your job?
This is my second year at this job, and I would do it as long as I can. I love working for the school district, so I have the same days off as you guys. So if it opens up another door for me, then I could move on to a different job, but I love working for the school district.
Do you, Did you know you wanted to do this job when you were my age?
No, I did not. When I was your age, I wanted to be a pediatrics nurse. I knew I wanted to work with kids, and I loved working with kids or babies or any young person, but I realized that I did not have the stomach for the medical field. But I love working with kids. I knew I liked kids. I always wanted to be a nurse.
Do you enjoy your job?
I do. I love my job. My kids at school are wonderful. I love the people that I work with. I like seeing how they can learn and how they progress throughout the year.
How would you advise me to plan for my future?
I would advise you to do your homework and listen to your teacher and really listen to what your teachers are teaching you and do the best that you can do all the time on all of your work that you do. And read, keep reading so your mind is always stimulated and thinking and you're always learning something new.
Can you describe your typical day?
My typical day at work is pretty much always the same because I teach preschoolers, so they like a certain schedule. So we come in, we get them all off the bus, we have music, we sit down in our little circles, then we go to center time, and then after center time, we go back to our circle, we work on a small project at the table, then we have snack and music and recess, and then we put them on the buses in their cars and go home.
How many days do you work each week? How many hours a day?
I have the perfect job. My students only come to school 4 days a week, and they do not come on Wednesdays. So I work 4 days a week, and I was hired for a specific need, a child with medical needs, and she only comes half a day. So I only work part-time, so I only work 3.5 hours a day, 4 days a week.
What is your favorite thing about your job?
My favorite thing about my job is, of course, the little children and their little faces and seeing how much they can learn from the beginning of the year to the end of the year or even to the next day or the next week and seeing how far they've come and met their goals and just learned and can continue on to the next year.
Do you work with other people or mainly by yourself?
Other people. There's another teacher assistant in my class. There's a head teacher. And then I work really closely with the nurse because I have students with medical needs, and I work very closely with the occupational therapist and a physical therapist and a speech pathologist.
Wow. What job would you choose if you didn't do what you do now?
Well, that's a hard one. My favorite job is, of course, being a mom to you guys, and I love what I do now. But the road I was on before you guys were born is I was a flight attendant, and I worked at the airlines for 9 years. So if I didn't have you two little blessings, I probably would still be flying.
How much education is needed for the kind of work you do?
Well, for my job, you definitely have to have college education. So I have a college degree. For teachers, of course, you have an education degree, but you need college education. That's why it's really important to study now. So when you go to college, you'll have so much more information to work with when you go to college, and you can get a great job someday. So what do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be in the Olympics swimmer.
And what do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be in the Olympics for gymnastics.
You do? So how is my work the same or different than what you're interested in doing when you grow up? How is it the same?
First, it's kind of like a little fast motion because you have to catch all the kids and stuff, you know. You have to kind of follow them around and stuff. And you have to kind of make sure they stay behind you, and you have to do all the stuff for them because they're special needs and they can't do much stuff by themselves.
How is it the same for you for swimming? if you want to be an Olympic swimmer. But swimming requires a lot of dedication, right? A lot of time and a lot of practice. So how's yours different?
It's different because we're going to be practicing on moves and you're going to be practicing on catching children.
So the things that you're learning now in school, how will that help you to be a better Olympic gymnast or Olympic swimmer?
I talked about this in school, so, well, sometimes I need to know like multiplication and division. I just need to know math. Because, let's say I scored 200 points for my first race, 200 modified, so I'll probably do that. So then I will have to either multiply it. If I forgot to do it the second race, I'll either have to add it up. Like, let's say I scored 300 more points, so I would have 500. And then next race, maybe I scored 200 points. So I would have 700, and I need to know that in case I'm forgot to add or raise up, I might have to multiply it 2 times, or I might have to divide it sometimes.
Good. Math is important.
Well, I might have to, they time you in gymnastics and the Olympics, and I might have a better time I might have a better time on floor, and then it takes me longer on beam. And then I would have to see how much longer it took me on beam than floor, so I would have to know subtraction and math.
You would have to compare?
Well, you would have to kind of add on to that. Like, let's say she got 65
You would have to
on one,
subtract, Sydney.
65 on one, and 30 on the other. So you'd have to add up 65 to know how much she got.
To know her final score?
Yeah.
Yes.
And also, well, we're not learning this in school right now, but whenever I go older, if you're going to be in the Olympics or in any professional kind of thing, you'll need to know language in case you move. Like, let's say you went to England or Spain. And if you went to Spain, you might need to know Spanish. And you don't need to speak all of it because you're an English person. So
That's good.
that's pretty much all. You also need to know how to read the scoreboards.
Yep. So reading and math are important, right?
Well, yeah, you also need to know how to read maps, because sometimes,
in case you get lost.
Yeah, in case you get lost, like if there's a meet somewhere that you don't know where it is, like in the Olympics, if you have to go to a certain place, go to London, go to a certain gymnastics place, if you get lost, you need to look at maps, so you also need to know how to read maps.
So geography is important too?
Yeah.
Good deal.